You're almost always running into fire in order to take an objective.
Well, a Palm Harbor World War II veteran is joining thousands of others in Normandy, France to remember D-Day.
He's an Army rifleman, and his unit fought their way from Belgium to Germany. And although he was not in the initial D-Day invasion, this veteran told 8 on Your Side investigative reporter Steve Andrews that he felt a need to be in Normandy for this special anniversary.
Special anniversary, 75th anniversary. This veteran is 93 years old. Like so many of those who fought in World War II, he lost friends on the battlefield. Tomorrow, at the site of one of the most storied battlefields in history, this Palm Harbor veteran will remember. As they did 5 years ago, World War II veterans are gathering in Normandy, France to remember the largest amphibious invasion in history. Thursday marks the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
It's the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end of Hitler's stranglehold on Europe. 160,000 Allied troops climbed over the rails of ships, stormed Nazi fortifications, and under intense enemy fire took the beaches, establishing unnecessary foothold.
I'm going to Normandy.
93-year-old Frank Reiser of Palm Harbor is on his second trip to Normandy in recent years. The Belgian government honored him with a medal on his last visit for liberating their land. Frank was not part of the invasion. He was with the Army's 334th Infantry, 84th Division, that fought its way across Belgium and Germany, fending off Hitler's last gasp of desperation at the Battle of the Bulge.
Actually, I didn't accomplish anything, and yet singly, but my outfit did tremendous.
The 334th liberated more cities and towns than Frank can remember.
You're almost always running into fire in order to take an objective.
Always on the attack.
You're running into fire, and in the meantime, you're firing from the hip. It's not heroic, it just happens.
Frank was awarded a Bronze Star for taking out anti-aircraft guns in Hanover, Germany, which the enemy turned on the charging Americans.
Well, 16 88s and 16 double 40s, they were shooting time fire at us all the way. You get 20 or 30 men all firing indiscriminately. Well, whatever's ahead of them isn't going to wither just a little bit.
He returns to Normandy to honor a friend lost in combat and the sergeant he credits with saving his life by ordering him to take cover.
But when he stood up, he was shot dead.
D-Day helped turn the tide of the war. Frank Reiser wasn't on the beaches of Normandy 75 years ago. This week, he feels he needs to be.
To me, it's just a remembrance of the guys that I knew. We're all one blood when it comes to military, army, infantry.
Now, Frank Reiser told me that he keeps that piece of paper with the names of Sergeant Fry and William Kierman near where he shaves, so he sees it and remembers them every day.
Well, it was 25 years ago. I happened to be there for the 50th anniversary of D-Day, and with the veterans. Remarkable, and there's so few of them left.
Yeah.
These heroes that are out there. So I'm so glad he gets to go, and he doesn't want to forget this day. I mean, this is something he wants to hold on to.
No, you know, just the opposite. He's actually so thankful to talk about it, to answer questions that jar his memory, if you will. He had no problem returning to Normandy, and he says he'd actually like some help writing a book about it. Now, tomorrow, I talked to a veteran who was in the first wave to hit Omaha Beach. He has no desire to return to Normandy. He told me once is enough, and he feels so lucky to have gotten out alive.
Right, he's one of the few. They say the first wave, most of those guys didn't make it. It was like the next one and the next one. They just kept coming.
Yeah, it was like 80%
Omaha
casualties,
Beach.
I think, on the first wave, yeah.
Great story. Thanks.
Yeah.